Hey there! Welcome back to Supercharge Fridays. 117 weeks of live streaming. How are you? I'm absolutely great. I'm in the middle of a beautiful field of mustard crop. Hopefully, you can see it's acres and acres around. And I would first love a little thumbs up and a message down below in the comments that you can hear me and see me properly because I'm on my phone and I'm on roaming. I'm not on my usual spot. As you can see, if you guys are in the comments, come in and say. And here's the funny thing, I didn't bring my handy little tripod. So the phone is actually in the middle of a tree branch. It's in the middle of a branch of a tree, which is why you see it at a certain angle. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hello, my friends. Hope you guys are doing great. Hey, G. G was live with me last week. If you caught that one, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, go and watch that. It's amazing. We talked about what not to do on LinkedIn. So definitely check that one out. Good morning to the folks in the US and in the Middle East and in, where is this? In Pakistan. Hope you guys are doing well. Uh, Ramadan Kareem to everybody. Yep, it's a tree branch. If you're telling me these messages, it means you can hopefully see me and hear me. So at any point of time, the phone's going to give way because of the wind and it's going to fall. So I'm going to hold it in my hand. I'm going to be live for a few minutes, not for too long. I'd love to help with questions. I have received a couple of anonymous questions and I'm going to get into them right away without further ado. Let's do the best we can. Okay. So I have this question from somebody on YouTube. And what he wrote was he got an offer by email and he was it was basically all the terms and conditions in the offer and he was very grateful for the offer and he said thank you and he did all the things that I tell him to a lot of the things that I talk about. Oh gosh, it's really sunny. And he had some questions, so he asked those questions and he said I did some negotiation tactics on email, but this was back on 31st March and no response till now. What do I do? Okay, listen. First of all, what's done is done. This is not what I talk about. This is not what I teach. Not the best way to do it. Why? Email is very one sided, right? So, what you want to do instead is you want to ask them for a phone call. You want to ask them if they can meet you in person, COVID permitting. A video call is the next best thing over Zoom or something like that, right? And then you can come up with your questions. Worst case, even a phone call. But putting these things on email, I think, is the last resort. But it's done, right? I'm a pragmatist. So what can you do? What you should, I use that word with care. What you should definitely not do is leave it alone, right? Recruiters look like they have their stuff together. A lot of us don't. I've done tons of recruiting, and anybody who's watching as a recruiter will tell you there's so many things that happen that are outside your control. So the hiring manager suddenly goes out of town or gets COVID, or the hiring manager's boss's boss is on vacation and they need to sign up. So because of that, it stalls. But don't worry. What you've done, you've done. What you can do now is focus on salvaging it as much as you can and saying, hey, I wrote to you a couple of weeks ago, wanted to know where we are. I'm still very enthusiastic about the position and I look forward to hearing from you. So put it like that. And if they ghost you for whatever reason, just leave it. Don't force it because the more you try to force it, it's going to have the opposite effect. That's been my experience. So feel free if anybody's watching, for example, G, feel free to put in the comments what else you would do to help our friend here because it's not easy, right? It's not easy in this situation. So let me know. Hi there, good afternoon to everybody. Okay, lovely to see new friends and old. Fabulous. Hey Risto, so good to see you. Outtakes. Oh gosh, there's a huge, very cooperative branch which was not cooperating till 5 minutes ago, trust me. Okay, this is a hilarious name. Regina Phalange. Isn't Regina Phalange the name of Phoebe in Friends when she plays a character? That's hilarious. G has done a lot of recruiting and she'll tell you it's not great. It's not easy. Yeah, some recruiters are great, some recruiters are not great, right? So that definitely happens. So yeah, come in. Hopefully, hope this helps and feel free to ask your questions. Hi, Kanika. Kanika's asking, how many times should we negotiate a salary? When you say Kanika, can you clarify this for me? How many times should I negotiate salary with this for the same position, or do you mean throughout your career for the same position? I mean, I have a whole video on it on YouTube. I give it a few attempts. I give it once or twice. Then I would just leave it. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And it can happen sometimes. And I had a very interesting comment from a recruiter yesterday on YouTube. She said, Sonal, you've mentioned in the live stream that one of the main reasons people don't negotiate their salary is because they might come across as greedy and money minded. She said, actually, I have come across greedy and money minded people because they have unreasonable demands, right? So it's a little bit of combination of what you say, which is what you ask, all the content of that, and how you say it. You want to have a very good grip on both. So it's not even about how many times. And at the same time, I'll go back to what I said, which is don't force it. If they can't, they have certain policies. If they can't, they can't, right? So you have always two options. I don't like to over complicate things in life. Try and keep things as simple as possible. Life's complicated enough as it is. You either take it or you leave it. So hopefully that helps you with your question. All the very best. Hey Rajiv, I'm waiting for it as well. I'm waiting on a few details. Um, which I'm waiting for. When I get them, you'll trust me, it will be out there. Hey Rich, yes, I we travel a little bit close by now. COVID's opening up, but we do it according to school vacations. Do the best we can. Please settle this before you accept the offer. Gee, that couldn't be more true. The worst thing you want to do is you want to accept something and then just resent and just feel like this urge and this itch like, oh damn, I wish I'd asked for more. If you want to do that, do it before you sign. Once you sign and then you go back and change your mind, not the best thing. So all right, you're very welcome. All right, fantastic. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to take a couple more questions and I'm going to let you go. Yeah, and G, please follow G. She was live with me last week, and we talked a lot about, from human side, from a HR side, what are some do's and don'ts in terms of LinkedIn. So G has a huge amount of experience on it as well, and she's saying, okay, I have to read. It's behind the branch. Coming back after it's confirmed is not a track. It's icky. It's icky. I'm just gonna say it. All right. All right. Now we see a question here. Is it possible to transition your career without work experience but with complete knowledge? Right. So knowledge without experience, right? Knowledge with experience is what I would call maybe wisdom, right? And that includes making mistakes. So if you can show that you have the knowledge and even without the experience, you have something called transferable skills. That is what you want to have in your, I will not even say back pocket. You want to have it in your front pocket. And you want to show with detailed examples of how these transferable skills can help them. It's not a pipe dream, it's a fact. And I'm going to do maybe more YouTube videos on this because I get this question a lot. And in fact, another question I received anonymously was, how can I negotiate when I'm in a new field? New field, literally, new field. Mustard. So, okay. Uh, the question comes from a place of ego. I'm just going to say it, okay? It is what it is. The ego's telling you, how dare you? How dare you negotiate when you don't even know this field you're getting into? This is mustard and you want to get into poppy fields. Okay, please pardon the pun. It's stupid. It's a Friday. I'm on vacation. Sue me. Okay. But that is telling you from a place of scarcity that you can't. And they're gonna say no and you're gonna look like a fool. I get where this question is coming from. However, I've also been on the other side so many times. And one very attractive quality is confidence and articulating your value. Let me say this at least twice today. It's not always the most qualified person that gets the job. It's the one who can articulate their value and communicate their value the best. It's not always the most qualified person who gets the job. It's the person who can articulate and communicate their value the best. I had a fantastic podcast episode with a guy called Kola Relation Naike, who's a communications coach, happens to be a barrister as well. in London, and he talked about it. It was such a mic drop moment for me, right? And is it fair? No, but life is unfair, right? I'd like to live a little longer. I'd love for spring to be a whole year round. It's not fair. It doesn't happen that way. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of stoicism and pragmatism and making the most with what you have. So hopefully this helps you. So yes, it is absolutely possible. Check out a lot of videos of mine on YouTube where I talk about transferable skills and how to negotiate if you don't have work experience, if you're a fresh graduate, if you were on a career pause. I don't like the word break. Break makes it sound like I was literally dancing around mustard fields. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I was taking care of a new kid, maybe a sick relative, maybe I was studying. So, anyway, that's a whole different topic. So, all right, next question. Hey, Shivam, how are you in Canada, my friend? Is it okay for recruiters to not share actual information about how an offer would be structured? How an offer would be structured? I think the onus is on them, it's not on you. Typically, I think it's in their interest to be transparent and show you what it looks like. There is usually a combination like of a simple Word document and a breakup with a table. That is usually the case. I've seen this across countries. Now, does everybody do it? No. Is it okay? Not my place to say. But that is where you want to come back and ask questions. Always good to ask questions. Hey, Suket, what's the best way to judge if a candidate is really keen? People are putting a lot of counter offers and negotiations. What's the best way to judge if the candidate? So, Suket, you're asking me from a recruiter point of view. Um, that's a good question. So, from a recruiter point of view, what I remember is when candidates take a long time to respond, that gives me the impression either they're not interested or they're talking to other companies. Now, that can have two effects on me as a recruiter. It makes me want them more, particularly if it's a field where some skills are rare, or it makes me want them less because I may get the impression they're a little bit less hungry. So I think it comes down to promptness in replying, and you need some documents from them. Did they give them to you or not, etc. I would say that's how I would look at it. All right. Hey Rajiv, job offer. It's been 1 week. Yes. Go and watch the replay, Rajiv. I talked about this in detail. I think you'll get a lot of value from that. Hey Safi. Pardon me, I'm coming too close to the camera. I'm like, literally, the phone is on a tree. uh, what is the best question or area of question from an interviewer? Like, what is the best area to discuss? Okay, not sure I understand, Safi, but I have a whole YouTube video on 10 questions you can ask a recruiter or a hiring manager. And I won't give you one, I'll give you 10. So go back and watch those 10. You'll get some help out of it. Hi, Tristan. I got an offer this week. Yay, congratulations, from a company. But I have a second round panel interview next week, Friday, at my dream company. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dude, dude, dude. Life is so unfair. When it rains, it pours. Otherwise, we're living in drought. You know, what is it called? Feast to famine. Okay, enough philosophy. What do? Tristan, you want to stall, Tristan. That's what you want to do, buddy. You want to get them. You want to do two things. You want to stall the current offer as much as possible. And at the same time, you want to hurry the next one as much as possible so that you don't turn both of them off. Right? Now, the dream company, let me tell you something. Dream companies, I did a brilliant podcast episode with someone whose dream company was to join this company. He went there, realized, holy crap. The company part was so seductive that he hadn't paid enough attention to the actual composition. And it turned out to be a role that wasn't attractive to him at all. So you want to make sure, Justin, that you have done a huge amount of research, because if by some case, the risk is there and those guys drop you like a hot potato because you're taking too long and they get worried, and those guys for some reason find someone else, you're going to be like neither here nor there. Right? So we don't want you to be that. So there's a reason they say a bird in hand is better than two in a bush. But very politely, very firmly, and at the same time, understand where they're coming from. They've taken ages to find someone like you. You want to stall there, say, ask for, I would say, it's not unusual to ask for 3-4 days to do your homework and put up a list of questions together. And I don't know, this is a very controversial thing that I see coaches talk about, and they say if you have another offer, please don't tell them. I don't i don't agree. I don't agree. If there's one thing I know, that's people. I've lived across the world. You guys have a lot of, hopefully, also very similar cultural affinity, right? One thing that makes us all human is we want something when we can't have it, the forbidden fruit. So when I know someone is already in talks with another company, so I wouldn't just put it like a threat. I would talk about it in a very sort of by the way, and I'm weighing all my options, and I would be remiss if I didn't do my homework. Use language like that. And Preston, if you're interested, check out my website, superchargeyourself.com. I think one of the things I have in there is a negotiation script, and I have some script for a situation like this that you can actually use. So you can go and check it out, download it. So good luck to you. Hey Shivam, is it okay to switch if you have a toxic boss? Yeah, Shivam, go back and watch the replay I did with Jennifer Brick. Shout out to Jennifer. If somebody can tag her, that'll be amazing. If I touch my phone's gonna fall from this. I'm very grateful for this tree. Jennifer and I talked about toxic. We talked about, is it a bad boss or a toxic boss? Is it a bad job? Is it a toxic job? They're very different things. So before we use labels like toxic, I want to be able to make sure that we know what we're talking about, because it's kind of cool these days to call everything and everyone toxic. But of course, it's okay. If you are sure of it, life's too short to stay unhappy in one place. Please. It's important to be happy somewhere else. Risto says, ego comes from voices in your head. Yes, absolutely. And he's recommending some reading here. So definitely check this one out. All right. Esther, good morning to you. All right. So I'm going to take one last question right here. And Bhupesh is asking, hey, an MBA necessary post 15 years of work experience? No, it's not. But at the same time, it's about what you want, Bhupesh, right? I checked out a video I did a couple of weeks ago, which was literally about this topic. Do you need an MBA to be successful? And I also talk about, do you need an MBA? If you decide that you want to do an MBA, do you need an MBA or an executive MBA, right? And there's a certain threshold that tends to be the case after 15, 20 years experience. It tends to be executive MBA. Otherwise, it's an MBA. I go into this in like way more detail. Like it's a 12, 13-minute video. So definitely check that one out. And I think that'll definitely help you as well. All right. You're welcome, Tristan. Tristan, if you can, keep us posted here. I'd love to know how you get on. Good luck with everything. Oi, how did this happen? I thought there were just no questions left, and suddenly I see. Hey, G, thank you so much. Yeah, Jennifer is amazing. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of quick questions. Nagaraj. Hi there. I am 10 years experience in manufacturing. Now I have an interview in a France-based company. Everything is completed. I haven't received a response. Yeah, go back and follow up. It's nothing wrong. If you have to follow up, you have to follow up. Give it some time. If it's about a week that's gone by, definitely follow up and say, hey, I'm here, still interested. So I talked about this in the beginning. You can catch the replay. And Chetan says they will release the offer, but it's been a week. Same thing, guys. Lots of reasons why this happens. Give people the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, right, Chetan and Nagaraj and so many other people who've asked me this before, please make sure you have multiple eggs in the basket. So don't rely on them. Don't wait for them to get back to you. Don't pray to God that it's going to work out. Please don't do that. There's a reason we say God helps those who help themselves, right? At the same time, like the Creston guy, you want to make sure you're talking to multiple companies. At the end of the day, my dream for you is to succeed, and my dream for you is to have multiple offers. Because when we have one and we're not necessarily happy with it, we take it. Why? Maybe because it's better than what we have today, or we have nothing today, right? We don't want that. We want ideally 2-3 options. Yeah, because companies do the same thing. Companies have 2 to 3 options with candidates. They don't go out in the world and say, hey, we're interviewing you, please take the job. No, why should you be? I mean, you're a company of one. So think like a company and have your, choices and options available. And you want to at the end of the day, I'm not saying do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you want to be like, I love this company, but this position is the, and I have a whole video on this. So if you ever want to watch it, I have two options. Which one should I take? Right? I think that'll help you. Kido. There's literally a tractor behind me. Could be in a could be in a Hindi movie right now, a Bollywood movie right now. Hi, Parishi. I've cleared technical interviews, and the company asked to upload all the documents on their portal. Yeah, Parishi, follow up, my friend. Follow up. Lots of questions. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. It must be so frustrating for you. I get it, but I think that's the theme for our live stream today, because a lot of you have similar problems. So don't worry. Don't think about what are they going to think of me. You need to follow up. Just do it. Do it in a polite way. And I haven't done it yet. I have a communication checklist with like literal scripts. And this is one of the things. How do you follow up without coming across as desperate, without coming across as pushy or anything like that? Regina Phalange. I have switched to a job thinking about preparing for the common admissions test. Right. What's the question, Regina? I'm sorry, I don't have time to get back to you about this. Thank you, guys. Wish you a lovely Easter as well. Risto and everyone else, wish you a blessed Easter. I am gonna now let you guys go. I hope this was helpful. If you're just catching on, do get the replay. And next week I'll be live. I'll be back home, and I'll be live with a brilliant person, and we are going to be talking about burnout. And she comes from specialism in burnout. What is burnout? What does it look like? What are some things that you can do? Are you just tired, or are you burnt out? There's a big difference. So same time next week, join me then. Until then, wish you the best. Have a lovely day, and if you are marking Easter, wish you a blessed Easter. Okay, here we have gorgeous views of northern France. Take care, everyone. Wish you the best. Bye.